What the heck is going on with Bitcoin's price? WTF, has the bull market been canceled? It might be time to strap in, because we're about to dive into what's driving Bitcoin's price changes and why the recent market moves are a wake-up call for anyone still sleeping on the sidelines. We're talking Larry Fink, BlackRock, Michael Saylor, Wells Fargo, and how even your grandma's pension fund is getting a slice of that sweet, sweet Bitcoin pie. Send it! Let's go ahead and start with some hot off the press news from the land of Bitcoin ETFs. BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust just registered its second ever outflow day, a whopping 13.5 million, walking out the door on August 29th. Now, what's the big deal? Well, let's break it down. BlackRock isn't alone. Fidelity, Grayscale, and even Bitwise are all seeing red. In total, over 71 million fled from the US-based spot Bitcoin ETFs in a single day. But here's the kicker. ARK21 shares Bitcoin ETF saw inflows of 5.3 million on the same day. What does Cathie Wood know that Larry Fink doesn't?
Our base case is in the $600,000 range. Our bull case, and we think the probability of the bull case has increased with this SEC approval. This is a green light. Our bull case is $1.5 million by 2030. This is a big idea. It is the first global, decentralized, digital, rules-based, critical there, rules-based monetary system in history.
There are currency devaluations taking place that people are not talking about. The Nigerian Naira is down 50-60% in the last 9 months. Egypt just devalued by 40%. Argentina continuing to devalue. I think this is a flight to safety, believe it or not, taking place. A hedge against devaluation, a hedge against a loss of purchasing power and wealth. Last year in the United States, regional banks imploded. Right. Bitcoin went up 40%. Bitcoin does not have counterparty risk. This is both a risk-on asset, but it is risk-off. I think this is an insurance policy against rogue regimes or against just horrible fiscal and monetary policies.
ARK's contrarian move speaks volumes about confidence in Bitcoin's long-term prospects, even when everyone else is panicking. But why the panic? Well, let's take a look. Ladies and gentlemen, there be whales in these waters. Speaking of, let's talk about an old Bitcoin wallet inactive for over 13 and a half years. They just transferred about 65 Bitcoin. That's like 4 million at today's prices. What could make someone wake up from a Bitcoin coma after so long? Was this whale selling or simply moving to a more secure wallet? Either way, it's a reminder that Bitcoin's early adopters, well, they still have skin in the game. And why don't we pull up the massive gains this guy just had? Yeah, the whales are watching. And this is why getting to 0.1 Bitcoin or 1 Bitcoin like now should be a primary objective. Hey, just ask Michael Saylor.
I feel like I'm a little late to the party. There's no way I can accumulate one whole Bitcoin. I mean, at this point, I'm shooting for 0.1 Bitcoin. So, I mean, I guess my question is 0.1 Bitcoin of any significance?
You know, New York was the greatest city in North America by about 1776, and you would have been late to the party. But the question is, would you buy a city block in New York in 1776? Or if you waited till 1876 and you were really late to the party and New York was the greatest city in North America, was it too late to buy a city block in New York City in 1876? How about 1976? If you were 200 years late to New York City, if you look at the property values of New York in 1976, what you'll find is you would be rich if you had actually bought real estate in New York in 1976. So the answer to the issue is, in every economic system, every economic empire, there's always one city, one place, one network where people gravitate to.
Hey, and speaking of Bitcoin believers, let's talk about El Salvador. President Nayib Bukele is on a victory lap. El Salvador's $135 million bet on Bitcoin is now worth $400 million. Bukele says, "We've done well, but adoption on the streets, well, that's another story." Hey, definitely room for growth, but you have to start somewhere. And at the end of the day, El Salvador is way ahead in the adoption story. Meanwhile, in the good old US of A, Donald Trump is making noise about turning the US into a crypto capital of the planet with some newly rebranded World Liberty Financial. And no, this is not The Apprentice. This is actual real life.
Purchase 15 or more of my Trump digital trading cards and we'll mail you a beautiful physical trading card. Each physical trading card has an authentic piece of my suit that I wore for the presidential debate. So we'll cut up the knockout suit and you're going to get a piece of it. And we'll be randomly autographing 5 of them, a true collector's item.
Is this just the orange man being orange man, or is there some sort of genuine strategy here to embrace Bitcoin on a national scale? Time will tell, but one thing is clear. The race to own Bitcoin just got a whole lot more political. Finally, let's address the elephant in the room. Binance once again caught in a whirlwind of FUD. 4. Reports of a supposed Bitcoin outflow of 44,808 BTC sent the Twitterverse into a frenzy. But here's the deal. Arkham and Binance themselves report very different numbers. So who's right? Are we witnessing a coordinated attack or just the usual shitcoin casino drama? Remember, folks, correlation does not equal causation, but if these rumors have you spooked, maybe it's time to think about where you're keeping your coins. Speaking of which, we got massive news involving game theory and FOMO hitting every major bank. All our grandmas will be stacking corn sooner than we think, but before we break it down, look at our likes.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Time is now to get your Bitcoin off exchanges and into self-custody. And if you need help, well, let's take a minute to recognize the masters of Bitcoin self-custody, the Bitcoin way. You're looking to learn how to Bitcoin, how to properly secure your Bitcoin. You might want to head on over to the newly revamped Bitcoin Way website where you can begin your road to Bitcoin sovereignty today. If you're looking to schedule a free 30-minute consultation, go ahead and use that link below in the show notes. Now for the grand finale. Wells Fargo jumping into the Bitcoin ETF game starting this September. Wells Fargo, one of America's largest banks with like 1.7 trillion in assets under management, will actively pitch Bitcoin ETFs to their clients. This is a big shift, not just for Wells Fargo, but for the entire financial industry. When a behemoth like Wells Fargo opens the doors to Bitcoin exposure, it's a signal, well, that institutional adoption is not just coming. It's here! But it doesn't stop there, as more banks like Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Citibank see their competitors offering Bitcoin ETFs, the competition will drive them to jump on board as well. Imagine the tidal wave of capital that could flow into Bitcoin as these financial giants begin offering Bitcoin exposure to millions of clients. We're talking about unlocking potential hundreds of billions in new investments into Bitcoin. Granted, if they don't take self-custody, it's like not really their Bitcoin, but you know what I'm saying. The domino effect has started, and there is no turning back now. Every major bank racing to offer Bitcoin means more liquidity, greater legitimacy, and a surge in demand. So the next time someone asks if it's too late to buy Bitcoin, remind them it's only the beginning, but time is kind of the essence. Accumulating 0.1 to 1 Bitcoin and beyond will be absolutely epic, and yes, life-altering. I think American Huddle is right. We're not stacking hard enough.
If you're new here, just start stacking your heart out. Like, get as much Bitcoin as you fucking can. This thing is a runaway freight train, and you're not going to be able to catch it. Like, I bet it's true for me. I bet it's true for Walker that, like, when we first got here, I should have gone so much harder. And I did go hard, but I didn't go as hard as I fucking should have. I should have gone 10 times harder. Become a crazy person. If people in your life are not showing you active disdain, you're not stacking hard enough. If you're still invited to family Thanksgiving, you're not stacking hard enough. If people are not making fun of you for brown bagging your lunch, you're not stacking hard enough. If your car is younger than Bitcoin, you're not stacking hard enough, okay? If you don't have a second job, you're not stacking hard enough. You're just not stacking hard enough.
We've got ETF outflows, whale wallets waking up, geopolitical plays in the Bitcoin world, and FUD surrounding the biggest shitcoin exchange. What does it all mean for you? It means the time to get one Bitcoin is now. Don't wait for the institutions to corner the market. Don't wait for the next big opportunity. The opportunity is right in front of you. So if you're still waiting on the sidelines, time to rethink that strategy. With institutions like Wells Fargo leading the way, the road to mass adoption is wide open. Smash that like button, subscribe for more updates, and share this video if you know someone who needs to get on board. Help us out by giving us a pat. Hey, keep stacking those sats, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, fuck you.